How sick I am. I apologize again to D. Smith, but I feel good about who I am and what I've done my entire life. And I apologize for the insensitive remarks. I had no.
Wow. Can you believe this? This is a shocker. Joh Gruden steps down as head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. You want to talk about coaches in trouble? After the Urban Meyer thing, the last guy I thought that would be in hot water was Joh Gruden, getting the Las Vegas Raiders to a 3-0 start. But apparently, winning isn't everything in the NFL, as quote unquote racist statements made by Gruden have him stepping down as head coach. Let's get into it. What really happened? It's E King Fighting. Alright, so as you had seen previously, I thought it was an apology and they might leave it at that. And this is the person Joh Gruden was apologizing to. DeMaurice Smith, the then players union leader at the time. DeMaurice Smith, because there was some insensitive comments made to him in a private email that Joh Gruden had sent to his colleagues. And this is the quote from Joh Gruden. Let's pull it up. All right, so as you heard, this was the Gruden statement. Let's just get into the Gruden statement. He said, "I have resigned as head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. I love the Raiders, and I don't want to be a distraction. Thank you to all the players." Now, DeMaurice Smith was the executive director of the NFL Players Association at the time where there was a potential lockout being discussed. Now, if you ask me, this is the real reason why Gruden is stepping down. Because whenever you cross these boundaries of what's considered racist, what's not considered racist in this era of political correctness, you can really ruin your own reputation. So this was not. I think it's relevant to say, you know what, these emails were not sent as Gruden being head coach of the Raiders. This is stuff dug up from his past on these NFL email servers. For whatever reason, NFL was investigating. Somehow, the New York Times got a hold of these emails, right? Leaked or unleaked or whatever the case may be, So the league and Smith and Al Davis, owner of the Raiders, has denounced all of Gruden's comments about DeMaurice Smith when they surfaced, but the coach still led his team against the Chicago Bears, right? So I thought it was an apology. It was a one and done, and Gruden could continue the coach. Gruden did apologize, but now I guess there is insurmountable pressure for Gruden to step down. Gruden said Friday he did not remember sending the email and that his language went too far, adding, "I've never had a blade of racism in me." His words were, DeMaurice Smith, right? He tried to have a little pun on the name. Has lips the size of Michelin tires. That's what he said. I'm going to pull it up. All right, so as mentioned, Gruden, speaking separately to The Athletic, said he did not remember the specifics of the email to Allen. So he allegedly said he used the term rubber lips, which on the email he's quoted as saying he called DeMaurice Smith his lips the size of Michelin tire. That's what is being reported. as what he said. And then Gruden, trying to defend himself, was saying he used the term rubber lips to describe someone as a liar, because of what was going on with the potential lockout. This is what Gruden had to say regarding that time in 2011. This is 10 years ago. I was in a bad frame of mind at the time. I called Roger Goodell a slur, that referring to the LGBTQ community in one of those emails too. They were keeping players and coaches from doing what they love with a lockout. There also were a lot of things being reported publicly about the safety of the sport that I love. I was on a mission with high school football in Tampa during that time, and there were a lot of parents who were scared about letting their kids play football. It just didn't sit well with me. You know, for Joh Gruden, you have to understand, being a head football coach in the year 2000, the language at that time, the political correctness at that time, you know, there was no concern. There was no concern about what was said on an email to the good old boys. And that's what Joh Gruden, if you understand, Joh Gruden is an old school football coach. He's an old school football coach. If you ever been on a lot of these reporters, they don't know what it's like to be on a football team. They don't know what that type of camaraderie is like. There will be explicit language. There will be explicit language. And I mean, the Raiders have denounced what Joh Gruden has said. They've accepted the resignation. I mean, obviously there was pressure from higher ups for Joh Gruden to just step back, and it's a shame. It's a shame, in my opinion. This guy led the Raiders to a 3-0 start. Congratulations to the Raiders. They beat the Baltimore Ravens. To this day, the only team to beat the Ravens. On top of that, they had solid victories. The Raiders, they beat the Ravens. And it's weird because I forget who else they beat, but they beat some good ass teams. And then they end up losing to the Chargers the other day, and they lost to the Bears. So a 3-2 team. And the thing with Gruden though is, you know, whether you like him or not, he's been screwed. Like he said explicit shit about Roger Goodell. He called him anti-football. He called him an anti-football, expletive, right? Y'all can look it up. I don't want this YouTube these days. You can't say certain things. So let's have some PG-13 content here. It is what it is. But here's a statement from the Raiders. Content of the email regarding DeMaurice Smith from Joh Gruden when he worked for ESPN 10 years ago is disturbing and is not what the Raiders stand for. We were first made aware of this email late yesterday by a reporter and are reviewing it along with other materials provided us today by the NFL. We are addressing the matter with Coach Gruden, and we have no further comment at this time. So you know what? That just is what it is. I mean, it's such a shame because Joh Gruden probably would have had the best season with this Raiders team. They're offensively a juggernaut. Oh yeah, they had that the Raiders had that overtime game against Miami. That was a close game. They pulled it out in overtime, and it was a comeback effort by Derek Carr after having a terrible first and second quarter. But you know what? For Joh Gruden, what a shame. What a shame. Some emails dug up 10 years ago gets this guy canned. And, what's going to happen next for the Raiders? You know who they play next? They go into Denver, and they're playing the Broncos. So what do you think is going to happen? Broncos off a loss. They're gonna want to fucking get right. The Raiders are gonna want to get right, and off of this, without having a head coach, it's a big ask for that Raiders team to go out there and win football games, and we'll see if they go ahead and do it. But that's the story as it stands right now. Joh Gruden stepping back, and they're gonna have to appoint a new head coach. This is an unbelievable time we're in, and let me know what you guys think. It's E King Fight News, man. And I'm out, man. Peace.